I'm joined by Alyssa Cho from Bayer Crop Sciences. Thank you so much for joining us in the live stream hub.
So happy to be here.
So, to start out, I know you work on the development in carbon markets and agriculture. Can you tell me a little bit about what transformation is happening in agriculture right now?
So, what's really amazing about agricultural based solutions is that you're both supporting farmers in changing what they're doing on the farm, but you're also able to make significant impacts in reducing climate change. So, by farmers making practice changes such as switching to no till or adding cover crops into their system, they're actually reducing how much they're putting into the environment, but they're also sequestering carbon in that process. So, it's not only providing that benefit of a carbon credit, but also providing a lot of benefits on the farm as well.
It sort of sounds like the farmers are the superheroes of this story. How are you engaging farmers to do this?
Yeah. So what's really interesting is that we have a unique position in the market because we have an existing relationship with farmers and we have a foundation of trust, which is really important when you're asking farmers to do something differently that's going to affect their livelihoods. And so we work really closely with them to ensure that we're giving them sound agronomic advice so that they're successful in the practices that they're doing on the farm.
Yeah, and how are you finding the reception? How it seems like it can be hard to get people to actually change practices, and this also seems like a linchpin. So how are you finding that process?
Yeah. So right now, especially as we see an ever changing climate, farmers also feel this and their operations. And so they're aware of how the climate change is affecting their operations and they're looking for ways that they can become more resilient. And actually switching to these regenerative practices help with their resiliency and their long-term yields over time. So if you start to tell that longer-term story, you can really speak to the heart of what they're doing.
Can you tell me a little bit about the connection between soil health and climate change and sustainability?
That's a very long topic. But basically, as you continue to build organic matter in the soil, you're able to actually capture carbon in that process. So the more organic matter or plant material that you can keep in a field, the more of that carbon that you're going to sequester. And you're also going to have the benefits of the soil health that's related to the organic matter. So the more that you can leave on the fields, the better off the field is going to be and the soil as well.
Yeah, well, you did a great job of summarizing a very complex topic quickly. Tell me a little bit about the initiatives you have going on to really encourage regenerative agriculture and keep track of where we are on this journey.
Yeah, so for what we realized is that farmers are at all stages of the journey. And so we actually launched a program called Foreground, which really supports growers wherever they're at in their regenerative ag journey. So whether it's just starting to explore what that might look for their operation, or if they're looking to adopt or even expand on their operation, we're able to support them at whatever stage that they're at and help to give them the resources that they need and also connect them to financial incentives through programs where we can work with a company that's looking to reduce their scope 3 or even creating a carbon offset credit that we sell.
Yeah, I was just about to ask about that. So, when we're talking about other companies, we're like surrounded by organizations, many of which may have food within their supply chains or some sort of product. How should they be engaging with regenerative agriculture to help drive this forward?
It's such a key part on how they can make an impact within their supply chain. And I think it's also just such a great story that you can help improve the livelihoods of the farmers that you're sourcing from while also gaining your benefit of reducing your scope 3 emissions. So for us, we've worked with several companies and worked directly on projects such as with Purdue, where we've worked on helping them achieve their goal of having a low carbon chicken and a low carbon food oil product on the market. And we've also recently announced a partnership with Mars Pet Care, where we've been helping them to reduce within their supply chain to reach their ultimate goals of having a low carbon sourcing source.
Where are you finding organizations can best spend their efforts as far as like the scale of agriculture? Are you talking about like giant farms, family farms? Where are you?
What's unique about this is every farmer is different. So you really have to be able to speak to what's going to work on that farm. So it can be differ from being a young farmer to an older farmer to a large scale farmer to a smaller farmer. But ultimately, you have to do this at scale. And that's part of the reason why we focused on crops that are on a larger acreage in the United States, particularly with our North America programs, because we know we can really scale up solutions that way.
I also understand that it can be very hard to track how much carbon is being sequestered in any individual project. Where are we right now in the science of like understanding how well soil is sequestering carbon and ensuring that when organizations are getting involved or maybe buying an offset, that it truly is sequestered carbon?
We hold ourselves to very high standards at Bayer. And so, in addition to following all the current recommendations for modeling, we also take soil sampling on every field that we have a project in to really ensure that we have that high quality of what we're saying that we're generating on the farm. And the science is evolving. Science is always going to evolve, and we're going to get better at this as we go forward. The science is only going to catch up with where the market needs it to be.
Well, Alyssa Cho, thank you so much for joining us in the live stream hub.
Thank you.